Hi guys, okay, we are going to do the sine rule, and good news, it's in the formula booklet. This is in the formula sheet at the front. It says sine rule is a over sine a equals b over sine b, which equals c over sine c. Now the rule is very important, or it is very important that you recognize that these a, b, and c refer to this triangle. So let me just explain this for a second. The angles have the capital letters and the sides have the small letters, and very importantly the A is opposite the A, so the angle A is across from the side A. The angle C is across from the side C, and the angle B is across from the side B. So it's set up like that, and I'll show you in an example how it works. But it's side over the sine of the angle across from it equals another side over the sine of the angle across from it. Okay, I'll explain again in more detail as we do the example. Key points: it works for any triangle, so it doesn't have to be a right angle triangle like SOHCAHTOA. We use it to find a side when you know two angles and one side, like this one here. I know two angles and one side. And we use it to find an angle when you know two sides and one angle, although not the angle between the sides. So here I've got two sides and an angle, and I'm trying to find another angle. If you have the angle in between them, you're going to have to use the cosine rule, which I'll get to in the next lesson. So let's look at this one first. So we are going to go, what are we trying to find? Which side? So we're trying to find x. So I'll start with x. I say x over sine of. Now, what angle do I put here? Well, it's the angle that is across from the side. So it's this one here. It's the opposite angle. So it's x over sine 37. And that equals, the other side that I know is 18. And it's 18 over sine. Now I've deliberately made this one slightly more tricky than a very basic one because I don't know this angle. A common mistake would be to actually put 24 here, but it's not sine 24. It's sine of whatever that angle is here. Now I don't know what it is, but I can quite easily figure it out because this is a triangle. So if I just do 180 minus 37 minus 24, let me try and do that in my head, guys. That's 50, 61. 180 minus 61 is 119. So that's 119. Okay, so it's 18 over sine 119. Okay, so that's my equation set up. And there's just one variable that I'm trying to find, x. So I can just multiply across. Because I've sine 37 at the bottom here, I'm going to say, okay, x equals, I'm going to multiply across by sine 37. So I have 18 sine 37, it's 18 times sine 37, and these are all degrees, guys, but I'm just not going to put the degrees sign, over sine 119. And I can put this straight into the calculator. Here we go. Take this out here. I'm going to do 18 sine of 37 over sine of 119, close bracket, and I get 12.3855. Let's round it to 12.39, assuming he wants two decimal places. 12.39. Does that make sense in context? Well, this is 18. It's probably not unreasonable to assume that that's around 12. Okay, so in my opinion, not that difficult. I will show you an exam. I'm not going to show you an exam question in this video, guys. I'll show it in the last of this kind of series of lessons. There's three rules. These three: sine rule, cosine rule, area of a triangle rule. I'll do the past paper question in this one here. Okay, now this is for when we're trying to find an angle. So to use to find an angle when you know two sides, I know two sides, and one angle, but not the one in between. So I have this angle. Now it's worth noting, guys, if you if you rearrange the formula, you can write this as sine, let me just write it up here in green. I can write this as sine A over A equals sine B over B, and sine C over C. Now note, guys, we only need two of them. You don't have to make an equation with two equal signs. You just use two. So I can actually start with, rather than having to rearrange after, start with this. I always start with the thing that I'm looking for. If I'm looking for theta, let's start with sine theta. So sine theta over, again, which side? Well, it's the opposite side. So it's 6 sine theta over 6 equals sine 57 over 8, because this is opposite this. So I hope this is making sense, guys. The side goes with the angle that's across from it. Then I say sine theta equals, same idea, guys. I have a 6 underneath the line here that I don't want, multiply across. So I get 6 sine 57 over 8. And then theta is, so theta is going to be the inverse sine of this, but I can calculate that if I want and then do the inverse sine, or I can just do the inverse sine straight away. So maybe let me just, guys, for clarity in this lesson, I'm actually going to get that value. So 6 sine 57 over 8. Let me just move over here. I have 6 sine 57 over 8 is this, so 0.62900, 0.629, and actually, guys, I'll just do dot 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 to indicate that I've left it in my calculator, and then theta is the inverse sine of that. So inverse sine of this, I'm going to do shift sine for inverse sine. I'm going to write answer because I want to use the answer that I just got, press enter, and I get 38 point, again I'll round it to 2 decimal places, 38.98. So this is 38.98 degrees. Okay, that's it, guys. That's the sine rule. Hopefully not too bad. I'll see you in the next video, which is the cosine rule. I'll do then area of a triangle, and finally, well, in that lesson I'll do some past paper questions.